everybody, welcome to today's video, and today we're going to talk about JS. So today we're going to talk about JS today, and what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about JS and what has come of JS and everything of for that matter. And so why don't we go and get right into it?
Go. God bless you.
Known is that me and JS have had a issue in terms of our relationship. So me and JS met in sophomore year. We met in sophomore year, and we were just becoming like regular friends. Am I correct? So we become as regular friends, and we are just regular friends. Because that's what we are. We're just regular friends, and I met them, and they just assumed to be getting very, very, asking so many questions and, getting to know me and everything. And I found out that when I met JS, I met JS, and I was wondering, well, maybe how could I get close to JS? Well, JS was friends with me, including my other friends, and JS would always ask questions and everything, but little they didn't know that I had a crush with them since we ever met. However, it's not like the same with DW, because DW really isn't that much high up as JS is. And why JS is such a big deal? Well, so I kept it for a secret for the rest of sophomore year. Then junior year, halfway it came out. I was up north, Pennsylvania. And as soon as I talked about JS, because JS actually did follow me, and they actually heard it, and they DM me and everything, and they just asked me a whole bunch of questions about who is JS. Eventually they found out it was them, and they continued this thing up until about maybe January, February-ish, and it didn't last that long. Eventually things changed. Things had changed. JS changed. Everything about JS has changed. So you might be wondering, well, how does this happen? When does this happen? Or what could have happened with JS? Well, then I was, had a really crush on JS and everything, and I really didn't explain the whole physical aspect of JS. But then when I did that, I wake up this morning, it was on Monday, and they send me a message saying, Tristan, I do not like you, I'll never date you, and all this stuff. Well then, after that had happened, I was completely heartbroken. That day it was a B-day, and it was a tech theater day, and I was going around and hanging up some posters. Well, as I was doing that, JS takes out their phone, and they take a picture of me bent down like they're taking a picture of my butt. As soon as they go, ooh, and that was that. Then they eventually keep on moving, then they eventually end up in my same area. And so I had to stick up to my mission, and I had to stay up to my work, and I had to do my job and hang out the posters. And that's really happened with JS, and I was just so emotionally out of it. So then all that stuff came around, and then I came across Vivi, known as Tavia. So when I came across Tavia, I saw Tavia, and I was like, well, Tavia, and they asked something about all JS and all that, and JS always sat close. So as like when JS is like sitting close and everything, I'm like wondering, well, is this really what's going on that JS really does not like me and everything? Well then, Tavia and Corinne were not letting it down. They persisted that I deal with this with JS. Well then, Anisha comes along, and what happened with Anisha is she decides, and she really does decide that she really did decide that, hey, we need to go and talk to JS. and now they're putting a wedge between JS and that. So then, the way how JS handled it is JS is that went to go talk with JS and everything, and JS basically ended up talking to me. Well, till then, that's how things changed. And yeah, so that's all the stuff that happened with JS. All right, so we're gonna go on a commercial break, and we're gonna talk about we're gonna have to talk about what happened after that. Oops.
You're mad because we didn't get you right away? Why are you so mad? Because we left you out. Because we left you. We just left you in the cage just for a second.
On news break about what had really happened, about what happened after that. So then JS goes over, and I'm talking to JS, and I said, "Oh, Tristan, you really gotta knock it off with the whole thing or whatever." So then that wasn't the end of it, now was it? So then I come across JS, and so then after that, and it was over the whole Tavia thing, and thanks because of JS really kind of had me on something that JS was definitely hiding something that I would know from. Well, then after that had happened, I had, been hanging out with VV and all that kind of stuff, and we're just hanging out, and JS continues to follow and unfollow, but it just was just the whole thing of whether or not it was really true or not, whether or not it was really out there or really not out there. It was not true. So everybody teased about me and JS, and how they were able to do that is they basically just teased us about, whether or not, because believe it or not, I think I do have a mental recording of a hard, shocking reveal about JS that JS said 2016 or 2017 ago. And I know it, but I'm not going to tell. And that's kind of what leads me on a suspicion is, what could that all mean? Well, then I was, talking about JS and everything. And, I was talking to Vivi about everything. So then JS eventually, everything that Tavia tried to do to help get JS back ended up not working. And they basically had, in a sense, of rejected me in a way. However, that was not the end. As soon as enough it ended, we no longer were able to attempt or try to get it. Nothing really had happened. Well then, and you guys might have known about this, because I think I made other videos about it, is I ended up, so it was senior year, and senior year was pretty cool and everything, and JS, still same. So then we go out to I'm in the cafeteria, and I look across the cafeteria, and I see there's someone hugging JS. And I see that there is someone that's leaning up against JS, and I was wondering, what the heck? I literally didn't know what it was all about. And when I saw it, I just was surprised. I mean, I was surprised. I wasn't expecting it at all. And I suspected that there was something that was going on. Well, previously JS went to ring dance with someone else who is in relations and in mutual friendships with JS's new bae, which is why I call him that. So then, when I see that, I was like, oh my God. I didn't know what was going on, so I felt suspicious of it. And then one of my friends confirmed it, and then another friend confirmed it. So then, I was pretty much stunned that JS had not said anything. Well, then what happens is I see that JS was now in a relationship. And it has really affected my perception about what really is the truth. And when I saw it, and I knew that I had lost my biggest endeavor, and I lost JS for good. Ironically, this new bay of JS was really close for comfort. And I know that it just was bad timing. Part of me wish I just never found out. Should have just never found out. But the truth is always the best way to go. And it did rattle my insides. Very much. And you know what I felt? I felt sad. Defeated. That my greatest person that I found most attractive than anyone I've ever met was taken. You can't undo it. You really can't. And when it happens, you just think that things will get better. And it doesn't. You know? It's either get put with a piece of junk or get put with a nice piece of junk. I guess that's the best way I can compare it to. Some may say it's the luck of the draw. But it's not the luck of the draw. It's really all about what you believe in. Some may say it's luck of the draw, but you know, not when you've put your hands on it and you've marked on it, but the person themselves rejected you. That's what happened. And you know, I look back, and this just happened like in November. And I just felt so defeated. So broken. And then JS started to make an appearance again. Only for maybe 30 minutes, and then they left. And, you know, my ambassador, correspondent, you know, he's my friend. And he was trying to, you know, say, oh, JS likes you. And then he left. All that just for nothing. And I know that it's hard, but I have to realize that I have no control over it. And I also don't think it's my place to say what I need to say. You know, how would you like it if, I gotta think, because I also gotta think about it from JS's new bae perspective. How would you feel if somebody that was an ex or a relation just came out of the blue and they just started fighting back, eagering? You know? It's like when a married couple divorces and the child gets stuck right in the middle of it. And one person ends up hating the dad or the mom. But then when that dad or mom gets a new partner, whether it's a girlfriend, a boyfriend, the divorced other half starts to fight back. That's why. And that's what happens when couples get divorced. The child gets caught right in the middle of it. And because they get caught right in the middle of it, they can't even be happy because now their two parents are split up. But then now, the bae of your ex-wife, your ex-husband, now being affected because now they don't know what to do. They got into a relationship with this man or woman and they don't realize that's over. That a massive big relationship broke. And now they get put into a midlife crisis or a depression or whatever. And it's the fact of love, is that when you break up with someone that you really did like, it can be quite painful. It can be very painful. And it won't get better within a year. It won't get better in 2 years. It might take a good 4 to 5 years or a decade for you to get over that divorce, that breakup. But and I know people will be wondering, well, why did you really like JS that much? There was something about JS that I really thought that I really did need. Not just one thing, not just two things, but the whole thing. With JS, I think that they would be better, more applicable than DW. They would be more they would be more better for me than DW would, because I really did need JS. I really did. I needed JS because JS had something that I liked. And I think that they would have really been a great match for me. They're the type of person I'm really looking for. But I would have to ask JS's new bae, out of all the people, why'd you choose JS? And they probably would say, might ask you the same question. Well, I need JS for a very specific reason. And if you didn't need JS, you just got that luck of the draw, then maybe you could have found somebody else. If you don't care. You know? It's like somebody's trying to downsize and they can't downsize because they don't need it. If you don't need something, then why do you buy it? Why do you get it? I'm the person that needs it. You know? And you have to sacrifice and compromise and everything to be able to get that thing you need. You know? It's like a certain pair of shoes. You know, that certain pair of shoes, I'm going to speak on from JS's new base point. JS's new base point, okay? They are looking for a new pair of shoes, right? Well, do they really need it? Or they don't care what it is? You know, it's like somebody who typically buys a small car, but someone who just randomly buys a big car rather than getting a small car. Like, that's what they always do. But in this case, JS is that premium, that top of the line package. Do you need it? Or are you spending more money trying to buy this thing rather than buying for what you need? You may want that certain jewelry, but do you really need it? I'm the person who needs that certain thing. And with JS, it was all there. And I do believe that if JS's heart was in the right place, maybe things would have been different. But I think that what they had been through is what has quite frankly changed their vision, their whole vision about relationships and dating and all that. I believed it too. But I don't know if it's because they don't necessarily see it at my viewpoint of how most important you need JS, what you need them for, rather than just getting it and basically biting off more than you can chew. That's what I believe. That JS and the New Bay is that JS and New Bay is biting off more than they can chew. And because they're biting off more than they can chew, you know, you should have just pick something else rather than picking something that you don't necessarily need. I needed JS. Now, of course, JS did reject me. Could I have done something? Yes. I could have enthralled it if I really did need to, but JS is not the same person as me. They're not. And because I needed JS, things ended up not being that way. Now on the behalf of DW doesn't even give a crap at all. Unlike JS, they don't actually do anything. They just sit back and not engage on what it is. JS did it correctly. DW didn't. And rather sit and hide away rather than going forward and taking on the challenge. And I believe that JS had a choice. But they knew that I had a crush on them. But from what JS told me is that they were not looking to be dating anyone at that time. Well, they could not let me know. They had full access to me. They could just let me know. But that's not what the case here. To make it even worse, that person is too close for comfort. And that's what happened, is that I think that JS certainly could have changed, but I just hope that JS hears this message and hears my voice and hears everything I've said, that I do need them. I understand they were in a relationship, but it's not too late. It's never too late. I'm single. But you can make the choice. But nothing can stop you from pursuing your dream. And I know that you have already been committed to doing what you are in a relationship with. But I know that you can get by. You could change. But of course, there's nothing. Nothing. Of course, you may be thinking, well, maybe JS, because I'm even that JS, they don't realize it, but I didn't get a chance to say them what I needed. And now it's too late. They're in a relationship, and now that person knows about it. I'm pretty sure they do know. But what JS is such a big, major thing to me. That JS is quite something that's very rare and is basically a perfect one. And I have to say that JS has been my top of the line, most best attractive person I've ever met. And because of that gave me confidence that now, by saying this message, by saying everything I've said, JS may or may not really care. They may not have any feelings at all in terms of it. They may just be fully clouded. At least they don't get their feelings hurt and, not listen to the full thing, or, get all tired and everything, and at least they don't get all offended or whatever, or not. Or at least they don't get all, at least they don't have their feelings necessarily get hurt, not watch the whole thing, or, not realize the truth and think that it's not for good nature. But, I just hope that JS will eventually hear this and see those videos. And I'm going to link those videos below. And I just want JS to hear my message hear what I have to say through this radio DJ person. To talk about what JS really did mean to me. And I would say it directly to JS and tell them what exactly was needed. So, thank you guys thank you guys for tuning into the radio show. I am your host, Tristan. And, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in another video. Remember, people, you can make a difference.